Hi guys, I still don't understand why people who join Reform UK don't get two blatantly obvious facts. First, that Reform UK is not a party in the same sense as the Conservatives, Labour, the Greens or the SNP are. And second, that they don't get that Nigel Farage generally only does things that benefit Nigel Farage. Now, it isn't a cult in the same way as MAGA is a Trump cult, but Farage is only interested if you can do something for him. If you're no use to him, bye-bye mate. We saw this with Ben Habib, who Farage described as getting too big for his boots. Now we have something similar with the man who founded Fair Fuel UK, a pressure group, and he joined Reform and then ran as a candidate in the general election but failed to win his seat. Now he has left the party and explained why to GB News.
It's very simple. The writing's been on the wall for a few months now for me, and it's nothing to do with the policies. The contract with the people, the manifesto with the general election. I fully support and backed and helped put some of it together. And I still have got a huge amount of friends. And today, the number of people writing to me is in the thousands, saying you'll miss, will you come back, and all that sort of thing. But I can't, and the reason is this. I haven't heard from them since the general election from the headquarters of Reform. Not one person has spoken to me when I stood as London Mayor or when I stood down in Dover and Deal. Well, I came second and knocked the Tories into third place. And had we had another 4 or 5 weeks, I think we could have nicked it. But I've not had one message from anyone whatsoever from there. And okay, you've got to have a thick skin in politics. But the only message I did get was a WhatsApp message 3 days ago to keep clear of the Tommy Robinson issue, or I will be expelled from the party. And
that has been that has been mentioned. In fact, I think Mr. Tice mentioned it on a rival broadcaster. He said that there was a feeling that perhaps you were talking about that issue a bit too much. Is that your understanding, that that was the central problem of the issue?
Well, that's my issue, because they have not listened to my media interviews properly all the way through, because I have not supported Tommy Robinson, but I do support what he's fighting for. You don't have to like or support Tommy Robinson to understand that the rate gang issue would not be top of the headlines had it not been for him and Elon Musk. That's all I'm doing, was talking about the issue, and I totally support. And I don't think he should be in prison, and I don't think he should be in solitary confinement. And I think there's been a tweet recently that even Nigel Farage is now saying that. But the point is, that's the reason why. And I do not want to be on a 3-line whip when I'm not an MP and told what I can and can't say. So.
Okay, I mentioned Tommy Robinson once, and I think I got away with it. This is going to be a bit of a problem for Reform UK going forward. It's interesting also, he mentioned how he didn't receive any messages from the party, following the election, not even, a call, and this is somebody who actually did quite well. He didn't win the seat, but he did quite well. So he'd be somebody who could be a bit of an asset for, campaigning wise. He did quite well. But anyway, so don't talk about Tommy Robinson. See, as I said, this is going to be potentially a problem for Reform UK, because there's a significant number of people in the party or support the party who also support Tommy Robinson. Now, you heard here from Howard Cox, I don't support Tommy Robinson, but I support what he stands for. That's bad enough. That's enough for Reform UK, because they want to distance themselves as far as possible from Tommy Robinson and that ilk, that lot, as Richard Tice described them, because they create a massive problem. And I've mentioned before, if Tommy Robinson were to join Reform, they would not be able to control him. They wouldn't be able to police his speech. They wouldn't be able to tell him what to do and what to say. And also, he has a massive ego. There's already somebody with a massive ego in Reform UK. There isn't room for both of them. So, I've mentioned as well how Reform want to become a more mainstream party. They want to expand beyond the radical right base. So they have to start rolling out policies that appeal to ordinary people, but they also have to change their rhetoric, and they don't want to go down the road of UKIP. Farage said in the past that he left UKIP because it was becoming too far right for Nigel Farage. So then he set up the Brexit Party, and then that, of course, merged into Reform UK. But Farage wants respect on the world stage. He wants to represent, in his eyes, the centre right, not the radical right, and certainly not the far right. So he wants to eclipse the Conservatives. He wants to replace them as the centre-right party in British politics. And having people who are aligned with Tommy Robinson or Tommy Robinson himself joining the party would be an absolute nightmare for him. So while he's the majority shareholder, he can control pretty much the narrative. And the narrative is, don't talk about Tommy Robinson. And obviously, this guy was talking about Tommy Robinson, and well, that's the reason he's no longer a member of Reform UK. So I think we're going to see others come forward, people who perhaps so-called grassroots individuals, people who were with Reform from the beginning, who will not be happy with what's happening with Tommy Robinson and will probably air their views in public and then suffer the consequences. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.